best of one.
That's right. Best of one or worst of one.
I mean,
depending on the person that you ask, the answer is different.
Yeah, that's true.
How opinions work.
You know what the thing is, though? Why this is so polarizing is because it's an entirely different format of Magic, period.
It is not standard.
No.
It is standard best of one.
Yes.
Because those two things have a little bit of overlap, but they are not synonymous. Just the way that modern and standard sometimes have have the same cards in them.
Yeah.
That does not mean that they are the same format.
No. It's just like completely different animal, and you need to be looking at it as a completely different animal.
Yes,
when you play
wouldn't
it.
look at a fox and say that's a bear.
No.
That would be problematic.
Unless it looked like a lot like a bear, but it was still a fox.
But then even then you point at it and you say that's a fox.
That looks like a bear.
That looks like a bear.
Please send us your photos of foxes that look like bears.
Ooh, I'm interested to see this. /scared?
Use the hashtag foxbear.
Yeah. Or wait, fox like a bear.
Okay, fox like a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really important because you can't just take your best of 3 deck and start using it
Yeah.
in the best of 1 queues.
No.
It's not going to work out for you. So yeah, we took a look at an article on tcgplayer.com from BBD, aka Brian Braun-Duin, who's in the MPL, just an all-around nice guy. We did an interview with him and when we used to do Magic the Pro the Ring.
That's right.
So you can go back and check that out from our archives.
Yeah, right when he won the world championship.
Yeah, that was a crazy event.
That was a long time ago.
Wow, memories. Yeah.
Anyways, so
Yes.
Maria,
Yes.
give us a hot tip.
Okay, so number one, like what we mentioned before, you've got to realize that these are different formats.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? So what is good in one deck, in one format, is not necessarily good in the other. We covered that.
Yeah.
Mid-range, much worse than best of one.
Yeah.
Because you should really be kind of like black or white in your game plan.
Which does not mean in the color pie, black or white. But it means that you're looking at very linear strategies. It's either like you're all in on being super aggressive or you're all in on being very controlling.
Right. Decks that can win game 1 are obviously much better in best of 1.
Yes.
Meaning that you cannot correct after sideboarding, because in best of 3 sometimes your deck is, kind of a dog in game 1 or whatever.
Yeah. Mono red is an example of a deck that does really well in game 1.
Right.
But then in games 2 and 3, in best of 3 formats, people can bring in a lot of cards to combat that, like a lot of life gain or things like that. Exactly. That are going to help them like eke out games 2 and 3.
Esper Control is an example of a deck that actually gets better despite a few things that we're going to talk about later in best of 1, specifically because a lot of people run cards in their deck that are just complete blanks against Esper Control.
Lava Coil?
Does nothing.
Yep, you might as well you keep a hand that has Lava Coil in it. It's like, well,
okay.
I mulliganed to 6 and I didn't know it.
Kaya's Wrath? I mean, what is that doing?
I mean, in that case, you're probably playing the mirror.
You're probably playing the mirror. Yeah, never mind. But removal strictly like creature or, 1-for-1 removal or whatever, completely dead against Esper Control. So a lot of times decks will just sit there and have some useless cards in their hand, giving Esper, of course, the card advantage. So the other thing we want to talk about here is the hand draw algorithm in best of 1. Because unlike best of 3 on Arena, there's a little computer trickery involved when you draw your hand.
And specifically what's happening is it draws you 2 hands. You don't see this part of it.
Mysterious.
But it draws you 2 hands and then it gives you the one that has a better mix of lands and spells.
Right.
So for instance, if it drew you like a 7-card hand that had 1 land and a 7-card hand that had 3 lands, it will show you the 3-land hand. And that's the one that you'll be making your decision about.
So this means that more decks are going to have what we call their nut draw, because it's going to be the correct mix of lands and spells that they want in their opening hand. Fewer games are going to be decided by mulligans, obviously, and it also affects deck building because a lot of decks will be able to run fewer lands.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we mean about that? The hand selection algorithm is, most of the time, going to select a hand that contains the average number of lands for your deck.
Okay.
So it does a little math that way.
Yeah.
And that's why some decks can get away with running fewer lands in best of 1 than they could in best of 3.
Even if it's just by a land.
Yeah.
It's 1 land fewer.
Yeah.
But that's 1 spell more. But it
Nice.
doesn't really affect that ratio.
No.
In a way that's significant to the computer doing all of the behind the business work.
The computer
Behind the business
is doing
work.
behind the business work.
All right. That
like it's out back behind the staples doing some math with a little calculator.
Okay, if the business that you're running is a barn.
Is the staples.
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah. Anyways, what were we talking about?
When I think of classic business, I think of staples. What do you think of? Ready, set, go. Classic business.
Wait, what are we saying?
Think of an example of a classic business. What's the first thing you think of?
Office Max.
Yes, we're both thinking of office supply stores.
Okay, but maybe it's because I thought that because you said staples.
Could be. Interesting.
Yeah. All right.
Or maybe because they sell stuff for businesses, they're a double business.
They are a double business.
We were talking about lands. So yeah, the computer's smart, right? It knows this kind of stuff. What it's not smart about, at least not yet, is colors of land.
So if you have a 3-color deck, you're going to have potentially some difficulty around drawing all 3 colors of mana, even if the computer is trying to be helpful and it's like, here's 3 lands and 4 spells.
Right.
But it's just like all 1 or 1 to 2 colors, and you're like, that is not helpful.
No.
Actually, thank you, computer. You certainly tried, but it did not work out.
And this is true, of course, of the deck we mentioned earlier, Esper Control. We're playing 3 colors here. But even despite this, some pros still say Esper Control, the best deck in best of 1.
Ooh, interesting.
So
Wish I had known that before I made my draft picks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We've got a fantasy league coming up. We've got 2 of them, so more on that later.
Yeah.
So we were talking about decks that can run fewer lands, and most notably, this is aggressive decks that are monocolored.
Yes.
Right? Because
that doesn't come into play with the different colors of lands. It's just like, here's whatever. 3 mountains, and it's always going to be mountains.
Yeah.
Because all you put in your deck were mountains.
I'm playing mono red. All I ever want are 2 lands.
Yeah.
Basically.
I think you want 3.
3 lands, no more. So in traditional best of 3, mono red will run something like 21 lands. In best of 1, it can run anywhere from 17 to 19 lands.
Wow. Wow.
And it has been seen as few as 13.
What?
Yeah.
Out of 60 cards?
That's right.
That is completely wild.
I think that's a little
That's
off
people who are just
the rails.
They're riding the wave.
Yeah, they're trying real hard to game the system. But even 17 to 21, that's a huge difference.
Yes, that's 4 whole other spells that you're putting in your deck.
And when you're making your deck, you got to think about this. Or if you're just like, playing a net deck or whatever, you're going to have a much better chance of having a great opening hand playing these aggressive decks because you don't have to worry about color.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about ever drawing a lot of lands.
Yeah.
And you don't have to put a lot of lands in your deck.
It also means that if you are looking at your own personal opening hand and you're like, well, this hand is going to be good if they don't do anything for 2 turns.
Right.
You don't have that. You don't have that buffer.
No.
That buffer's not there. Put that hand back.
Or you're like, what if they miss their land drop or something? No.
Put that hand back.
Ship it.
It is not going to work out for you more times than it will.
Accurate.
Yeah.
So let's talk about versatility because you've got to be able to play against a variety of decks in best of 1 and not stumble and fall on your face because you ain't got the possibility of a sideboard, my friend.
That's right.
There's no sideboarding.
If you fall on your face once, as far as everyone's concerned, you died there.
That as far as best of 1 is concerned.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It saw you die once and it's like, it sees you stumble and they're gone.
They're gone.
They're gone.
So I want you to think about this like, okay, say you're playing Esper Control and the only win condition you're packing is Teferi, okay, which is a case that some people have played in best of 3.
Yes.
Well, guess what? What if your opponent plays the Immortal Sun against you? Womp womp. You can never win.
Wait, I have Mortify.
I guess you can mortify it. Yeah. You've cast all your Mortifies in this scenario.
Wow. I really did not. I did not plan well for this. Who am I? What's my name?
Your name is Jared.
Okay, my name is Jared.
Yeah.
And I'm playing an Esper Control list.
Yes.
That only has the win condition of Teferi.
Yes.
I've cast all of my Mortifies.
Yes.
And all of my counter spells, or they managed to resolve the Immortal Sun.
They resolved it.
Wow, I really messed up.
Your middle name is Peanut, and your last name is McGillicuddy.
So my full name is Jared Peanut McGillicuddy,
yes.
and I have no way to win the game.
That's right. That could be you if you don't think about versatility.
All right.
This also comes into play with cards like Cast Down, which is a totally normal best of 3 card.
Yes.
But what if they don't have any creatures? What are you going to do?
Well, I'm just going to Cry.
Yeah, cry or put Assassin's Trophy in your black-green deck instead.
Ah, interesting, because that hits many different kinds of permanent.
So that's kind of like the way that you got to think about it is if I can help not having a dead card against however many of the matchups, I probably should do that thing.
And we talked about this a while back when we were talking about best of one before.
Yes.
How play design and R&D have specifically said that they're looking at ways to develop cards for best of one.
Yeah.
So you look at something like Knight of Autumn, which specifically is a card that's built to not be dead in a best of one matchup. It can just be a big old creature.
Yeah.
It can gain you life. It can destroy an enchantment or an artifact, which is like very relevant.
Ravager Worm.
Yeah, so that's the kind of card that it's like, oh, this has so many different modes on it that no matter what I come up against, I'll be able to cast it and hopefully get some pretty solid value.
I'm very excited to see what R&D continues to develop for Best of One based on these kinds of cards, because I think they're just pretty cool, and not only cool in Best of One, but have implications like Knight of Autumn in Modern or whatever.
Yeah,
that's just helpful to have a versatile card no matter what way you're playing Magic.
Yeah.
Oh.
So some people in the control world have thought about this versatility question, and they've said to themselves, what if, even though it's best of one, I have a sideboard?
I love this.
Say what? But you're not going to sideboard. What else are you going to do with those cards? Well, you're going to Mastermind's Acquisition and search for them.
I love it.
Pretty spicy.
Yeah, Mastermind's Acquisition lets you go into your sideboard and take out whatever you want and
put it in your hand.
Put it in your hand. So you can't actually submit a sideboard for sideboarding, but you can have a sideboard for non-sideboarding situations. Yes, for Mastermind's Acquisition situations. Yes. And so BBD says in his article, he thinks any deck that can play Mastermind's Acquisition realistically should play Mastermind's Acquisition, which I think is very interesting.
What a thought.
I mean, if you
you're looking
want a
at
toolkit,
like green-black, even though we've said mid-range is bad.
Yeah.
But Esper Control.
Maybe.
More specifically.
Yeah.
All right.
Mono black.
Yeah. That
is a deck I've come across in Best of when I was playing around with it a little bit the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, imagine if you just always had what you needed in any given situation.
I can imagine that so well.
You know what I mean? But I'm looking forward to seeing if anybody uses this in the Mythic Invitational.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, these kind of feel like two opposing things and you sort of have to pick one, right? Yeah. We're talking about versatility, which is things that give you more flexibility, like Mastermind's Acquisition, or like multi-purpose removal spells like Assassin's Trophy. Yeah. But then the other side of it is that in linear decks, like mono red, there's not a lot of room for versatility.
No.
I mean, technically Lightning Strike is versatile in that you can point it at someone's face or you can point it at a creature.
So versatile.
But that's about it. That's like the end of versatility for that deck.
Yes.
And the same goes for something like mono blue. It's like, well, I have some creatures and I have some counter spells.
Yeah.
The end.
The end. All right, so let's talk about something that people have been tweeting a lot about, actually, the people who are competing in the Mythic Invitational. A few people tweeted out that playing first was their main goal in this tournament. Like, after so much testing, I'm pretty sure it was Gabby Sparks who tweeted, "What I can hope is that I'm on the play." And so we got a little bit of math in this article from Brian Bronduin, who looked to his teammates, and out of 2,000 games played between them, which is, a large sample size for them, but a relatively small sample size, all things considered. It was a difference of 15 to 20% in the likelihood to win a game based on whether you won the die roll or not.
Yeepers.
Which is very large.
That's huge.
Yes. I'm here to say that is a problematically large number.
Yeah.
And hopefully, as R&D continues to develop Best of One, I mean, this is the first time it's ever around, so we got to cut them a little bit of slack here. They can try and hopefully get this number down closer to 50-50.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a big chunk. Big chunk.
Painful.
And of course, playing first, the hand selection algorithm rewards monocolor aggressive strategies because, like we said, consistently get powerful balanced hands, and they can't, they don't flood out as often. So,
all right,
there you go.
It's an agroman's world.
Yeah, or an Esper Control world.
Yeah,
according to him.
A person can dream.
All right, so there's a few things that you got to think about when you're playing Best of One.
Your games go like that.
They're boom, they're done. You blink, they're over.
Yeah.
Done. Okay. So what you need to do is have kind of a different mentality when facing a loss.
Yeah. Which is just like, you cannot brood on that.
No.
You cannot stew over it.
No.
You cannot cry.
No.
Especially if you were on the draw. Just think about the fact that you were already 20% less likely to win that game. I'm saying something that's going to make you upset, and I realize that that is counterproductive to what we're trying to say here.
Yeah.
But you just got to like let it go.
Yep.
Hop back in there.
And hit play again.
It's quantity.
It is quantity.
It's a quantity
yes.
game.
That is exactly what it is. Yeah, you're going to lose a lot. That's just the way it is. You're going to lose quickly, and you just got to jump back in there and get ready to battle again. You know, I've been playing some best of one now ahead of the tournament and on our stream, twitch.tv/GLHF Magic, and been having a lot of fun with it. But oh my gosh, does it feel like you really have to go, play, because you only are climbing up one little notch every time as opposed to two on best of three.
And do you know what? Like, I feel like in best of one, and I know that you have like this mentioned already, but like, it does feel like it's streaks. Like I'll win like 7 games in a row, and you're on top of the world. And you're like, yes,
this deck can't lose.
And then I turn around and I lose 7 games just as quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Streaking is a thing in best of one. Keep your pants on. But you will find that you lose in a bunch of chunks and win in a bunch of chunks because the metagame in best of one is shifting way more quickly than best of 3.
Yeah.
And the people you're grouped around, like in Mythic, especially if you're at the top of Mythic, you're going to play the same people again and again and again.
Yep.
So like, yeah, just get used to this streaking.
Just get used to streaking. You heard it here on Good Luck High Five first.
I feel like that's not what I meant to say, but that's definitely what I did say.
Yep.
So there you go.
But man, when you're riding the wave of wins, feeling great.
Oh, it is awesome.
Hold on to that feeling. Whee! It's going to turn around.
I've got rocket-powered jet boots.
Here's our promise about best of one is that streak will turn around.
We promise. That's a Good Luck High Five promise.
Yep.
All right. So what about some tips when you're playing best of one? All right. So you've got to play like you've got to jam. That's the way I think about it. You
cannot look at those hands and it's like, well, this is fine if they don't do anything until turn 3.
Yeah.
Nope. That's not going to work.
Not okay.
They're going to search for Azcanta you. They're going to thought erasure you. They're going to play 1 billion little creatures. They're going to Siren Storm Tamer and Curious Obsession.
Yeah.
You're going to be done for.
Because on average, remember, these hands are going to be better than your average hands in best of 3. So you've got to assume that your opponent usually like has whatever card they need.
Your opponent's hand is good.
They've got it. They've got the land drop. They've got that creature that they needed onto. Whatever. They have it.
Sit there and know for yourself that it's just their hand is good.
Their hand is good, and you just have to be like, well, I'm just going to play my hand the way that my hand works best. And if they're going to counter my spell, well, they probably will, and I'm just going to go for it.
And you just got to keep living on.
Yes. So you don't have the luxury of just sitting there, chilling out and drinking a lemonade, okay?
Although you can always have a lemonade while you're playing Arena.
Absolutely.
Feel free to do that, but don't relax while you're drinking it.
No, feel very stressed out.
Tense. I want you to stress drink that lemonade. Just get real tense and then chug it.
You know, I just love after a long day of work sitting down in my easy chair, opening up Arena for some best of one, and then
chugging a lemonade.
Stress chugging
Slamming a lemonade.
Just breaking the glass in my hand as it tries to make its way to my mouth.
Especially if it's some really good stuff like the Newman's Own brand. Oh yeah, make sure it's like a quality lemonade that you're just going to demolish without second thought.
I'm excited for, speaking of playing, just relaxing and playing Arena.
Summer? Is it the season of summer?
Summer is involved in this answer because I love to sit on my porch and play Arena and put on the record player and have a cocktail. It's
what a hipster.
Is that a hipster thing to do? Did I just describe a hipster thing?
Porch, a video game, and a record player.
And I'm wearing like
if I triangulate those 3 things using my software, the location I end up with is hipster.
I forgot to mention that I'm wearing a straw hat and a handlebar mustache. Does that change?
You're wearing a handlebar mustache.
Yeah, like one that like when you're little and you put up your nose to have it stay on.
Oh,
one of those.
You're ultra hipster.
Yeah. Okay, sweet.
This does sound perfect.
Ultimate hipster.
Life sounds good.
Yeah, I mean that's some of my fondest memories about Magic.
I have a hammock that you can put between 2 trees. I really love going down to the lake and just hanging up my hammock.
Yeah.
I'm triangulating this, and I'm coming up with hippie. That's where I'm landing.
I put this into my software.
I put this into my software.
Hammock, tree, chilling out by a lake. Hippie.
Hippie. Okay. That tracks.
How have you been having any fun playing Best of One?
Yeah, I would say that I swap back and forth between Best of One and Best of Three. Best of Three, I've been loving playing Simic Nexus right now.
Yeah.
Nexus being banned in Best of One.
Yeah, you can't.
Even
Straight up
more
can't.
proof that Best of One is its own format. It has its own bans.
Yeah.
So anyways, I love playing Simic Nexus, and that one's felt really consistent for me. Like usually if I'm playing Simic Nexus, I'm climbing.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm playing Best of One, it feels way more volatile. Sometimes I'll just get on and I'll lose a bunch. Sometimes I'll get on and I'll win a bunch and then I'll lose a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've been playing some Esper mid-range in it,
mistress.
which is actually pretty fun.
Oh, okay.
You know, it has a lot of...
You just said the word mid-range.
That's true, but it feels like it hits on the versatility part of it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Where sometimes you can have very aggressive draws that attack people down pretty quickly. You're very resilient. And I like the deck because it's good against mono blue and mono red.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it has like a bunch of Basilica Bell Haunts. Sometimes you play mono red and they're just like, here's all my, like, I attack you, and you're like, okay, I gain 3 life, you discard a card.
Nice.
And now I have a 3/4, which also none of your creatures can attack through.
Beautiful.
It's very good.
Hey man, if we can hate on mono red and mono blue, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed by those decks.
And Hostage Taker, such a good card.
Ooh, Hostage Taker is great.
Thief of Sanity.
Thief of Sanity.
Like having a deck that sometimes is able to be like, okay, thought erasure you, take whatever is going to get in the thief's way, and then like play a Thief of Sanity and just attack you with it. Real solid.
You do have a lot of tools in that deck.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that need to be dealt with.
I don't know that it's great. It's the one that specifically when I think of winning a bunch, but then losing a bunch. That's it.
I've been playing some White Weenie in Best of One.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about the show last week, and you're like, Maria, if you want to scoot past Platinum 2, you should probably just play White Weenie. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. And, you know, it is fun. But at the same time, it's like it can be so linear that I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of bored of this deck.
Yeah.
So in this article that we've been mentioning, we'll put a link to it in the show notes, is a deck from BBD, which is called White Green Angels. Yeah. Which I've just been playing a little bit a few minutes ago and was super fun.
This is a very fun deck.
And it has versatility, which he was talking about. So you're running Jade Light Ranger, you're running Merfolk Branchwalker, and of course, if you're running those, you're running Wild Growth Walker. Yeah. So there you've got your life gain to deal with aggressive strategies.
Get wrecked, mono red.
Yes, absolutely. Then you've got Knight of Autumn, 2 copies of that. Mm-hmm. Like we said, a card specifically designed for Best of One. And then you've got your bangers like Lyra Dawnbringer, Resplendent Angels, and Shalai. So like whatever.
Yep. Some real bangers.
Vivian Reed's in this deck. Adventurous Impulse to help you find what you need, which I think is kind of cool. And 2 copies of Ixalan's Binding.
Yeah. He also has a Dovin's Acuity Esper control list.
Dovin is such a cutie.
This is my real jam. This
looks like your jam right here.
Yeah. It is running 3 copies of Mastermind's Acquisition and has a sideboard that goes with it. That's a bunch of one-ofs.
I love it.
So, classic.
Ooh, you should try this one out.
I'm going to.
Do you think you have these cards?
I think I do. I mean, it's a bunch of stuff. Maybe not Mission Briefing. That's a weird one.
You probably drafted it, though, at some point.
Maybe.
Nightmare's Thirst?
But all of these, like a lot of these sideboard ones are one of rares. I love it. All right.
It reminds me of when you used to talk about Toolbox Elves.
Oh, yeah.
In Modern.
Back in Modern.
There it is.
That was pretty sick.
So, yeah, I've been having fun with it. I'm willing to try it out more. I think I just, I still think like Best of 3 is the purest form of magic.
It is the more magic form of magic.
The more magic form of magic. I do think it's another fun format, and I'm just going to think of it like Modern or whatever.
And I will say that 15 to 20%'s really getting to me.
Yeah, I know. Well,
That's a big difference.
We need some more data to make sure that is accurate. But that does not make it. No, it does not make it easier
to stomach. Yeah.
Yes. So the Mythic Invitational coming up this weekend, PAX East.
That's right.
We've got competitors going in there, the MPL. We've got the challengers, or the people like streamers hanging out and battling. Yeah. And they're playing Best of One.
See how that format shakes out. And on Sunday, there's going to be a whole bunch of previews for War of the Spark.
Yeah.
So get hyped.
So let's talk about our fantasy leagues.
Oh, yeah.
So we did fantasy leagues for the last Mythic Championship, so it only stands that we're going to do them here for the Mythic Invitational. Same format, pick 10 cards, pick 10 players. It's not a snake draft, it's just pick 10. And if you want to play, there's links to our player draft and our card draft in the show notes below. If you come in first, you're going to get a sweet prize.
Yeah. And if you come in first and you beat Paul, because we do not count the coverage people,
no, we do not.
Can win, and you beat Paul, we'll send you a bonus prize.
Okay, sweet.
Because we need to see Paul lose.
Paul wins all the time.
He always wins the fantasy drafts.
And we are sick and tired of it.
We really are.
Simon also generally does very, very well.
Yes. So if you beat them, either of them, we'll give you extra prizes.
Extra prizes. Okay.
All right. Tell me your teams.
All right.
Our teams look slightly similar.
That's okay. That makes sense. We didn't consult when we were making these teams. So we do have a rule for your team, though. You'll be automatically disqualified from this if you have all MPL players or anybody who is top 8'd Pro Tour.
That's right. You have to have at least one hot pick.
One hot take.
Which is someone who has not MPL and does not have a top 8.
That's right. So my team, I picked Reed Duke because I pick him for literally everything. Win a tournament, Reed, then I might take you off my list, okay? I picked Beatrice Grancha. So this is the person who came in number 8 on the leaderboard.
Yes.
To get into the Mythic Invitational.
Pretty awesome.
Really
Playing
cool.
mono white.
Playing mono white, that's right. So I figure if she can do that well just in the giant world of Magic players, she can probably do pretty well in this tournament. I also picked Amy Zonian, who, from what I can tell, is streaming 100% of the time.
Yes. When is she not streaming? Never.
I don't know, because every time I check, she's always streaming.
Yep.
So I figure, you know what? If you're doing that much streaming, you're on my list.
Yeah.
I picked Andrew Ellenbogen, hometown hero. Gregor Kowalski, who's also somebody who plays
You pick Kowalski a lot.
He plays Magic nonstop.
Yeah, that's true.
I talked to him and I'm like, hey, tell me how much of your day do you play Magic? And he's like, oh, it's just a little bit. I'm like, talk to me about hours. And he's like, I don't know, 15 hours. And I'm like, that's not a little bit,
just
Greg.
a little bit.
So he's getting on the list. I always pick Ifro as well. He's on this list. Solid player, solid pick. I picked Kenji.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's so cool to be able to watch Kenji in this tournament. He was the first streamer I ever watched regularly.
Yeah.
And just a really cool dude. And he just got married, so he's going to have the boost, the happy
boost. You think he has a marriage boost?
Marriage boost. Boop.
Okay.
I feel like you always perform better at anything when you're very in a good mood, when you're happy.
Yeah.
So Kenji could have that boost unless he's realizing that he's married. Oh my God, my life is over.
Wow, Maria.
Just kidding.
Whoa.
That's not happening.
Hot take on marriage.
Kenji's great. And so is his wife. Paulo Vitor Damadurosa made my list. Autumn Burchett, because they're on a streak, win a Mythic Championship, get back in, win something else. And I didn't pick LSV for the last Mythic Championship, and I'm very upset
Always
at myself.
Always a mistake to not.
So he's on the list this time.
Fair enough. All right. Like I said, mine looks pretty similar. I have Andrea Mengucci, which is my version of Reed. I always pick Andrea. I think Andrea is a great player.
Yeah.
Gabe Nassif.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
solid.
Yeah, why not? Jamie Rigatti.
Yeah.
Jamie Topples. I love her. I think that she's a great player. I'm excited to see her play in this.
Super nice human being as well.
Yes, exactly. I also have Beatrice on here. I also have Amy. I picked Gabby. When Gabby wants to win something, she's a force.
Formidable opponent.
Yes. I still think about she was in the standard Super League ages ago.
Oh, yeah.
And she just came with a bunch of linear aggro decks and just crushed that field.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because it was just it looked at me, I was like, Gabby wanted to win that, and she did. And so I'm like, Gabby wants to win. She's
Get on
gonna.
the list.
Alexander Hayne has just been practicing so much.
Great pick.
Already a great player and has been putting in the hours.
Lots of great hats on his stream. If you're interested in hats, his stream has all the hats.
There you go. Matt Nass just always seems like such a nice person.
He does.
And plays interesting decks. So I'm like, Matt Nass.
Matt Nass.
Autumn also, they're like you said, they're on a streak. Mono Blue is great in the format.
Yep.
And we know that they're great at Mono Blue.
Absolute pro.
And I went your route and put Reed Duke on my list.
Wow.
I almost never draft Reed because I know you always draft Reed.
Yeah.
But I was like, do you know what? I feel like it's a mistake.
I can't hog
not
Reed
to.
from the world. So anyway, you don't have to pick the same players as us, or you can, whatever you want to do. Probably don't do the exact same ones because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But feel free to pick whoever you want for your league.
Yes.
So let's take a look at Cards. So each card will earn your team 3 points per copy that appears in the main deck of a deck in the top 8, plus 1 point per copy in the sideboard of a deck. So, like, I guess if it's the Mastermind's acquisition plan, you're getting a couple extra bonus points or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here's my team. History of Benalia, best art, and best card. Tithe Taker.
All right, you're on that mono white plan.
Mono white. Mortify.
All right.
So if anyone brings a mid-range deck, I don't know why they would, but Esper Control.
Yeah.
Scary Terry. Terramander's on this list. Mono blue. Opt is on this list. It appears in a few decks. Hydroid Crassus. Yeah, sure. I think people will play that. Llanowar Elves. I've been coming up against a couple of big green decks to try and power out Gulta. It might be in there. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. We can't have a list without putting frickin' Teferi on it. Shock and Goblin Chain Whirler. Nod to mono red.
Wow. All
There you
right.
go.
So I have Merfolk Branchwalker.
Yeah.
I think that it's just, it's a solid 2-drop. All right. History of Benalia, my nod to mono white.
Yep.
Dive down,
Mono
doing
blue.
its thing. Hydroid Crassus, I love that card. Conclave Tribunal,
Oh, nice.
Chart a Course.
Nice.
Draw 2 cards. Nice. But you want me to attack with the creature? What? Anyways. Shock.
Yep.
Opt.
Yep.
They're 1 mana. They're 1 mana and
Yeah.
they do a lot. Chemister's Insight and Terramander.
Yes.
So I feel a little all over the place with my picks this time around.
That's
but
okay.
I also have, this format is like unexplored territory.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, is it right to pick all cards from one deck and just bank on that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Potentially.
We're going to have to chart a course through these unfamiliar waters.
So again, if you want to play, check out the show notes or the link underneath this video. You have until the tournament, the night before the tournament, to submit. You can't submit, obviously, when the tournament is going. It'll just be shut down. So get your picks in early.
Yep.